Brian, just let me know down there if you get a good mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 2 1. Very good.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida.
Ask one of our 70,000 ambassadors and they'll tell you. There's just something special about this place. Valdosta State University.
Game day and a happy Friday from Choccolocca Park here in Oxford, Alabama for day 3 of the Gulf South Conference Softball Tournament as we're closing in toward the finish line tomorrow for Championship Saturday. Our first of 2 elimination games today here at the Signature Softball Field at Choccolocca Park. A couple of rock-solid teams playing a must-win game today if they want to have a chance to compete for an NCAA South regional spot next week. Now, at least the full 18 field will be announced as far as the NCAA Division II regionals on Monday. So right now, as of today, West Florida and Valdosta State on the outside looking in. West Florida in the top 10 and Valdosta State just outside the top 10 as far as those NCAA South region rankings for Division II. West Florida, the visiting team today, as they're at 36-15 overall. Coming into today, Valdosta State at 30-22. Gianna Guerrero, Emma Bryce, and Aaron Moon lead off as far as the first 3 batters in the Argos order, going up against Tori Wofford as we are set to get underway right now from Choccolocca Park as a bunt foul gets us underway. 10:07 is our game time here at the Signature Softball Field at Choccolocca Park. Tori Wofford so far this week 0-1 as far as 2 appearances at the GSC tournament. We'll take a look at the full batting order for the Argos in just a second as a foul ball makes it no balls and 2 strikes. James Hardy with you along with our Flow Sports crew here from Oxford, Alabama in the heart of beautiful East Alabama. Madeline Vasquez, the cleanup batter, bats third, followed by Hannah Harper, the first baseman, in the number 5 spot, and batting 6th, Bella Holiday, the DP. 0-2, swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Guerrero as Wofford gets her first strikeout of the day and her second of the GSC tournament. As 1 down for Emma Bryce. Bottom third of the Argos order, Jessie Bond in right, followed by Jessica Ford in left, and Chelsea Dumas at second base. A strike down the middle, already a good start on the morning for Tori Wofford. Freshman right-handers had a very solid GSC tournament so far. 8 1/3 innings pitched in a couple of tournament appearances. Misses outside. That's the first pitch she has not hit the strike zone with so far today. Also get a look as far as some full numbers as far as Wofford is concerned for the season. She's ready to come home. 1-1. Floats up there for ball 2. Change up that missed high for Wofford. A freshman from out of Dallas, Georgia, playing about an hour and change, about hour 10, hour 15 from her hometown, as there's a swing and a miss at the rise ball. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Valdosta State lost their first game of the GSC tournament on Wednesday as they fell in walk-off fashion to UAH 2-1. And were able to rebound very nicely yesterday as far as an elimination game win. Swing and a miss on the changeup as Wofford off to a hot start already with a couple of strikeouts. 2 up and 2 down for UWF as Aaron Moon steps up to the plate. Started all 2 of the postseason games so far for the Argos. 2 for 6 offensively here in Oxford. As Wofford looking for a 1-2-3 inning as there's a fly ball. In the left center, as racing over will be Stewart to make the grab to retire the side. Nothing doing for UWF here in the top of the first inning as we go to the bottom of the first. UWF 0 and Valdosta State coming to bat here on Flow Sports.
It's all about the fan experience, it's about in-game experience and the chance to do some different things. We had the opportunity to go to Meco in Atlanta, and we had a chance to visit the showroom. And the ability to see the difference in the pixels next to each other in that venue. You can see the size comparisons. You could get to change a mod and see how that was done in-house. You got to see the system in action.
We were really pleased with the quality of the product. The price was, we probably saved 30% or so on the price of the project. You're talking six-figure savings, which is significant in any type of venture. It worked out great for everybody.
And we're back in the bottom of the first inning from Choccolocco Park as Tori Wofford a perfect first inning for Valdosta State, including a couple of strikeouts. As we appreciate you for joining us, hopefully it's a happy Friday for you wherever you are watching us from here on Flow Sports. First pitch strike for Montana Young. This is her second start and third appearance this week as far as the GSC tournament. Morgan Hill leads off for Valdosta State. Off the end of the bat, knocked down over at third by Vasquez as the throw late over to first base. And quickly an E5 ruled as far as the official score as first base runner for either team today. Abby Salt will come to the plate, the left fielder. Aniston Gano, the first baseman, follows her, followed by Katie Proctor, the designated player, in the cleanup spot. Sailor McNeary, the shortstop, bats sixth. Carly Bogart, the third baseman, bats sixth. Checked at McNeary in the fifth spot. And then Bogart sixth as the first pitch misfires for ball one. Abby Salt 2 for 6 here in Oxford this week. Third game to start as she takes a curveball outside. Bottom third of the Valdosta State order has Brandine, the second baseman, bat seventh. Jasmine Stewart, the center fielder, eighth. And Brandy Sieber, the catcher, at the bottom of the order, batting ninth. 2-0 pitch upstairs for ball three. Should be an interesting matchup as far as a couple of quality teams. A lot of solid tradition as far as the athletic programs, especially the spring programs when it comes to baseball and softball for UWF and Valdosta State. Fastball in there for a strike. Both teams have either met or eclipsed 30 wins so far this season, but right now, outside the top 8, both teams are as far as the NCAA South Region rankings. That curveball just misses outside. So the first two batters aboard for Valdosta State as Hill reached on an error, now at second after Abby Salt walks to bring up Aniston Gano, who's had an outstanding tournament so far. And she had a grand slam yesterday that was able to help Valdosta State catapult themselves against the win over Union as she hits that off the end of the bat. Long run as coming in will be Bond to make the grab. So especially with the power that Gano has showed this year, that those outfielders had to play pretty far back as far as expecting those long fly balls. A long run as Bond able to make the play. We'll go over the UWF defense momentarily as Katie Proctor takes a strike call. Ford in left, Guerrero in center, and Bond that you just saw in right field. Vasquez at third, Bryce at short, Dumas at second, and Harper over at first. Swing and a miss. Great execution on the changeup as Proctor falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. There was at least a little bit of individual hardware as well as all conference honors handed out prior to this GSC tournament, as there's foul ball out of play. Gianna Guerrero for West Florida in center field, part of the first team all-conference team. Also, Abby Salt, a member of the first team all-conference as far as one of the conference outfielders, as there's another foul ball. And scanning the rest of, as far as the all-conference first team, Madeline Vasquez at third, a first-team selection for the Argos of UWF. Also, Montana Young out in the circle, a second-team all-conference selection. 0-2 fastball outside. Morgan Hill out in right field for Valdosta State, a second-team all-conference selection. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Proctor. That's hit hard, but foul. Day 3 of our coverage here at the Gulf South Conference Tournament for the softball tournament here in Oxford. Day 1 over just off to our left as far as at the signature baseball field today. Rise ball upstairs. So Gulf South Conference, as far as the baseball side of this week's tournament at Choccolocco Park at the signature baseball field, just underway a few minutes ago. Tomorrow is Championship Saturday. We can have as few as 1 or as many as 3 games. That would be a winner-take-all championship and a possible 2, if necessary, games, depending on how the afternoon games and evening games go today. 2-2. Hit well into left field. This has a chance. Gone. Katie Proctor sends it over the left field wall as Valdosta State with a big crooked number on one swing of the bat from Proctor as they now take a 3-0 lead. First home run this week here in Oxford, Alabama for Proctor. And let's check out as far as her season numbers now for Proctor. Home run 11, RBIs 38, 39, and 40 as Hill, Salt, and Proctor all score on Proctor's long ball. A huge early play so far. An RBI times 3 for Proctor as there's a strike call. So Valdosta State, and unless there's any other, well, basically both teams need to, certainly would feel more comfortable if they can run through the rest of this conference tournament and win the automatic bid if they want to get into the NCAA Regional. As 0-2 the count off of that foul ball by Sailor McNearney. McNearney, 14 homers, 40 RBIs on the season. Does have a home run this week as she hits it off the end of the bat. Pop up over to Dumas, who puts it away. 2 down. So Valdosta State has been able to capitalize on the long ball so far this week, as they have now 4 homers in 3 GSC tournament games this week. A conference high 117 round trippers coming into today, as that screwball misses inside to Carly Bogart. Bogart this week a 167 average, just 1 out of 6 as far as her GSC tournament games. Pitch misses low to Montana Young, or at least from Montana Young, I should say. 2 balls and no strikes as Bogart. As far as the bigger picture for this 2024 season, 370 now as she grounds one right along the line. A fair ball is across the diamond. It goes Vasquez to Harper to close out the inning. However, 3 runs on 1 big hit for Valdosta State. There was an error and nobody left on base. We're through 1, Valdosta State 3, and UWF nothing here on Flow Sports.
Ask one of our 70,000 ambassadors, and they'll tell you. There's just something special about this place. Valdosta State University.
And we go to the bottom of, or at least the top of the second inning here at Choccolocco Park in Oxford, Alabama. James Hardy with you. You have a couple of the top home run hitting teams in this game in Division II. Valdosta State, not only the top home run hitting team in the conference, but also in Division II. As the swing and a miss to begin this top of the second inning as Madeline Vasquez, Hannah Harper, and Holiday get things started in the second inning for UWF. UWF in the white tops and the blue bottoms. A royal blue bottom as there's a shallow fly ball / line drive that drops down for a base hit into left center field. First base runner for the Argos. Valdosta State in the black tops, also the chili pepper red bottoms today. West Florida also proficient as far as the long ball this season, third in Division II nationally as far as home runs as a team. There's the first pitch foul ball. As Hannah Harper, 2 for 4 as far as her GSC offensive totals this week. RBI and a run scored. Also has seen action in the circle this week. 0-1. That's hit foul. So UWF aggressive approach so far as in this inning. As they went down in order against Tori Wofford in the first, including a couple of strikeouts. A big game for both teams today because one of these two teams will be eliminated as far as from postseason contention here in Oxford and also likely to have their seasons come to a halt. Hit hard into left center. That drops down for a base hit. That had a lot of the plate for an 0-2 pitch that time. And so Vasquez now into scoring position as we're going to have time called as head coach Thomas Macera for Valdosta State comes on to the circle as far as a coaching visit. 4 more games today here in Oxford as you have AUM and Mississippi College still to play later on today. Those two teams have not suffered a loss so far, so if one or both of those teams win later today, then they'll advance to tomorrow's championship Saturday for a winner-take-all championship. So one of these two teams will also advance later today as far as basically a semifinal round type of tournament game against one of the winner's bracket teams. Also, UAH and UWA on deck as far as their elimination game here in Oxford. Bunt shown, a good one. As a late arrival at first base for Prandine covering the bag. And so that's going to be, we're going to call that a bunt single. Bella Holiday brings up a very nice bunt that time, at least intending the sacrifice, but gets a little more than that on the positive side than she was bargaining for. She's able to reach on a bunt single to load the bases. So Katie Proctor got the first 3 runs on the board with the long ball for Valdosta State, and now it is answer time potentially as far as UWF is concerned. Jesse Bond, the right fielder, misses upstairs, does Wofford. Bond so far this weekend, 2 starts. Or this week, rather. 2 starts, 1 for 4 so far, her average. That's her postseason average. Pitch right down the middle, but high. So 2 balls and no strikes. Been a great week of softball so far here in Oxford. A lot of competitive games, especially on day 1 and then in the back half yesterday. Wofford comes home. Swing and a miss. Still a hitter's count for the UWF center fielder. Winner of this ball game takes on Mississippi College sometime around 3:30. We won't jinx the schedule just yet as far as hopefully the game's staying on time today, which they pretty much have for the first 2 days of this GSC tournament. Something that is not always the case when it comes to any type of extended tournament with a fairly large field. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch. Hit into center. Should score a run. Maybe more as Stewart settles in, makes the grab. Tagging Vasquez. Scores from third. And then the back 2 runners advance as Harper goes to third. And Holiday tags from first and goes to second. Productive out. RBI sacrifice fly for Bond. And that is her first RBI here in Oxford. That also puts the tying run in scoring position at second. Just the first out of the inning. So Jessica Ford a chance with a single to tie up this ball game. Ford just 1 for 6 so far this week here at Choccolocco Park. So now Ford steps right back in. Big at-bat for her, not only this week, but one of her biggest at-bats of this entire season. That's right down the middle for a strike. Take a look at Ford's big picture totals for the 2024 season here in just a second. Check that, 378 for Bond as there's a fly ball. Should bring another run home as Hill makes the grab. Coming home from third base will be Harper, and Holiday over to third on the sacrifice fly for Jessica Ford. So Ford now with 54 RBIs on the season. So 2 down. Back-to-back sacrifice flies as Vasquez and Harper have scored this inning. Brings up Chelsea Dumas, the second baseman. At the bottom of the order, 2 for 5 so far this week. Bouncer should do it. A Sunday hop on a Friday for McNearney as she throws over to first base in time. However, 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, a runner left in scoring position. So West Florida draws closer as they're down 3-2 to Valdosta going to the bottom of the second here on Flow Sports.
The Gulf South Conference would like to thank Raymond James for
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
And we're through 1.5 innings of play here at Chakalaka Park at the signature softball field. James Hardy with you on Flow Sports, along with our Flow Sports crew, as UWF able to answer Valdosta State's 3 runs in their first at-bat with 2 in the top half of this inning, as the bottom third of the Valdosta State order coming up as Jamie Prandine takes a strike call. Prandine so far just 1 for 5 as far as her pair of GSC tournament games, as she evens the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Swings away, pop up, looks as if and does indeed go out of play. 270 her average this year, 3 homers and 16 RBIs. Also, let's take a look as far as the numbers in the circle for Montana Young. 3.47 the ERA, 19-4 her record. She goes rise ball, laid off that time for ball 2. 143 in the third innings pitched coming into today for Young. 142 hits allowed, 85 runs surrendered, with 71 of those earned. Hit toward the left field bullpen, out of play. 63 walks, 112 strikeouts, and a 3.47 ERA for Young. This is her second start and third appearance this week, as the 2-2 is swung on and missed. Rise ball dropped. A little bit of cleanup on the 2-3 put out that time. 1 down. First strikeout for Young today. Jasmine Stewart comes up to the plate. Her first at bat today. 6th at bat officially of this GSC tournament. 1 for 5 in her prior 2 ball games. As she hits first pitch and fouls it off. Stewart hitting in the number 8 spot today, out of McDonough, Georgia, from Ola High School. Her numbers on the 2024 season, a solid 270. Bunts that one foul, so she's quickly behind. No balls and 2 strikes. UWF comes into today as far as the NCAA South region rankings, actually coming into the most recent rankings released late Wednesday morning. Check that. Number 9 in the NCAA South region rankings. Tails outside in the 0-2. Stewart with 8 homers, 24 RBIs so far on the season. 1-2. That's popped out of play. Next up, here at Chakalaka Park, the second of 4 games and the final, at least officially, elimination game, at least for certain elimination game. UAH and UWA, as that changeup swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Montana Young, 2 down. UWA, the 7 seed as far as this GSC tournament, but the number 5 ranked team as far as the NCAA South region rankings. And then UAH 10th in the region rankings. The 4 seed this week in Oxford, Alabama, as a first pitch strike to Sieber. Brandy Sieber 2 for 5 with an RBI in 2 games in the GSC tournament. So far, Young in control as she's 1 strike away now from a perfect inning. Sieber 314 on the season, 1 homer, 25 RBIs. 0-2, outside. Valdosta State able to score 3 on their only hit so far, a 3-run homer by Katie Proctor. 2 of those runs were earned as far as Young was concerned, as Morgan Hill reached on an error, as there's a poke into left center for a base hit. Nicely done by Sieber. That pitch might have been about an inch and a half outside, but she was able to still make some good contact, go the opposite way, and keep this inning alive. Back to the top of the order is Morgan Hill today. Reached on that aforementioned E5 and able to score on that Proctor long ball. Morgan Hill has played and started every game. As there's a liner back to the box, easy work that time for Young to end the inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, and a runner left on base for Valdosta State. The Blazers maintain a one-run lead as we're through 2 innings of play here on Flow Sports from Choccolocco Park.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
We're through 2 innings of play here at Choccolocco Park. Valdosta State leads 3-2 over the UWF Argos. The 5 seed and the 3 seed playing a loser leaves town game in an elimination game, the first one of the day on day 3 of the GSC softball tournament. Bunt shown and contact made and foul as we go back to the top of the order. Top third, Guerrero, Bryce, and Moon. So we're 2 innings in, and what's shaping up to be a tight ball game. A critical game for both of these teams in their season. 0-1 is low. Guerrero struck out her first time up. As Tori Wofford, a couple of innings of work, 3 hits allowed, 2 runs, all earned. No walks and 2 strikeouts, both coming on the first 2 UWF batters of the game. Drop ball wisely laid off that time by the Argos center fielder. Guerrero, a .441 average coming into today. 4 homers, 6 triples, 14 doubles, and 25 RBIs on the season. 42 games and 42 starts for her. That's line, but an atom ball right to McNearney, 1 down. Couldn't ask for it to be hit harder than what you just saw there. So Gianna Guerrero 0 for 2 as Emma Bryce, another strikeout victim, back in the first inning. UWF able to get sac flies from Bond and Ford in the second inning. As there's a first pitch bouncer that goes foul. Emma Bryce's totals on the season, 263. She's played and started every game for the Argos this season. 14 homers, 35 RBIs. There's a grounder through the middle. Nicely done that time by Emma Bryce. As she's aboard representing the potential tying run in this ball game. We mentioned as far as the home run hitting prowess for both of these teams, Valdosta State comes in leading the GSC and Division II nationally with almost 120 homers as a team. It tells you how well they've been knocking it out of the park. UWF third in Division II A team total of 89 round trippers coming into today. There's a first pitch strike. UWA the 7 seed and UAH in the green room, the 4 seed as far as the next and final official elimination game. We could have what turns out to be 2 more elimination games later today, as there's a ground ball in the bunt. Nice play over by the third baseman Bogart, as Gano shows a little bit of footwork that time, able to get back to first, touch the bag, and get the out. Called to sacrifice, a 5-3 sack, 2 down. Emma Bryce up to second, so productive out if Madeline Vasquez can come through with the 2-out RBI single here. Vasquez led off the second with a single, also came home to score. Vasquez, .424 the batting average. Goes the opposite way, retreating a few steps and making grab as Salt to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the third. Remains Valdosta State 3 and UWF 2.
Sport Turf is the official synthetic partner of the Gulf South Conference. Gulf South Conference.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. TicketSmarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think TicketSmarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at TicketSmarter.com.
From Choccolocco Park in Oxford, Alabama, as Valdosta State got a 3-run round tripper from Katie Proctor in the first inning, as they've been able to make their lead hold. West Florida able to get a couple of sac flies in the second, as there's a hard hit liner, but right at and goes just past Salt in left field. Or check that past the Ford, the left fielder, as we flip the lineup card over, is Abby Salt able to hit it hard for, we'll call it a leadoff single. Didn't waste any time as far as getting on base. Her first hit. Also the second time she's reached base, as Gano takes outside. Fly out to right, her last time up. Do or die for both of these teams here in Oxford, not only for the GSC tournament, but for any possible hope as far as the NCAA South region. The 8 teams that will advance into the NCAA regional will be unveiled on Monday. Both teams on the outside looking in, as the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Make that 3 balls and no strikes. Valdosta State, with the ability to strike at any moment, certainly can have the capability, even in the loser's bracket, to come all the way through and get the automatic bid, as there's a strike on the outside corner. But you have a very deep GSC so far in 2024. UWA is the 7 seed, but the number 5 ranked team in the region, as there's a breaking ball strike call. Certainly a prime example is how deep this conference is this year. Also, Mississippi College, the number 2 ranked team in the region, the regular season champion in the conference, as Gano swings and misses on what could have been ball 4 as she strikes out. Impressive fight back for Young in the circle that time, as she was able to come back from a 3-0 count and able to come up with 3 straight strikes to get the strikeout, and one of the top sluggers in the GSC. One down for Katie Proctor. Biggest hit of this ball game so far as she takes outside. Proctor 3 for 8 now this week in Oxford, including that huge 3-run homer. Headed toward where that bus is stationed in left field, but a bit shy as far as being a threat for any of the windows on that bus, as the count now at 2 balls and no strikes. So Proctor, wearing 44 today out of Ringgold, Georgia, as she pops it up back to Young. A much easier time of things this time for Young as she retires Proctor on just a short pop-up.
Batting the shortstop, number 3, Sailor McNearney.
So 2 down. Sailor McNearney to the plate. She popped up to Dumas at second her last time up. First pitch, a ball. Valdosta State left a runner on base in the second inning, as right now they've got the leadoff batter still at first, as Abby Solt able to swing at the first pitch and hit a hard single off of Jessica Ford's glove in left field. Hitters count for McNearney. Out of Kennesaw, Georgia, not too far of a drive away, depending on Atlanta traffic from Choccolocco Park. That's hit foul, as that was turned on a bit early that time by McNearney. When you look at the South as far as recruiting territory, basically Oxford is in between 2 of the top fertile recruiting grounds as far as softball in the South. The Birmingham Metro and Atlanta Metro areas, as that's hit well into right center field. This has a chance, and gone. So that cleared the wall, hit off of one of the railings as far as the right field stands, as all of the runs today for Valdosta State have come on the long ball. Round tripper for McNearney. That is her second of the week here in Oxford. And on the season, 15 homers and RBIs, 41 and 42 on the year. So we'll have time called, as it appears we're going to have a substitution come in, and it looks as if a pitching change for UWF. So we'll step aside for this brief timeout, as we'll tell you who the new pitcher is after this on Flow Sports. And we go to at least continue the bottom of the third inning as a new pitcher, at least an adjustment defensively for UWF, as Hannah Harper comes over from her first base spot, and she'll come in to pitch her second relief appearance of the week for UWF. The long ball has been very fruitful today so far for the Valdosta State Blazers. 3-run homer by Proctor in the very first at-bat for the Blazers in the first inning, and then McNearney coming off of that 2-run homer that extends the Blazers' lead, now up to 5-2. We'll take a look as far as the season totals here in just a second for Hannah Harper. ERA at 3.98. This is her 34th appearance and a 17-11 record on the season as she misfires to Carly Bogart. So we'll also have obviously a new first baseman as Webb comes into first, as that's hit hard and about 2 feet foul down the left field line. So Madeline Webb now into the game at first base for West Florida. So Harper now in the circle as she came on against Union University. Was able to have an outstanding relief appearance against them as there's a foul ball. Harper 17-11 overall, 165 in the third innings pitched, as she has pitched the most innings as far as the Argos pitching rotation this season. Harper, a versatile member as far as the UWF softball team. Misses low. Played at the First Academy, an Orlando, Florida native, has the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bogart. Nobody aboard. Popped up. Should do it. As Guerrero in center makes the catch to retire the side. So for Valdosta State, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 3 elimination game as Valdosta State leads 5-2 over UWF on Flow Sports.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Almost at the halfway mark for today's first of 4 games here at the Signature Softball Field at Choccolocco Park. James Hardy with you on Flow Sports as Valdosta State able to extend their lead in their last at-bat. A 2-run homer by Sailor McNearney as all 5 of the Valdosta State Blazers runs have come on the home run ball. The starting first baseman and now pitcher Hannah Harper to the plate. Single and the run scored in the second. Tori Wofford pitches as that's fouled off. So West Florida certainly has the capability of making the comeback, which they've already done at least once so far this week. In fact, in the tournament's opening game on Wednesday. They fell behind early 2-0 to Union before coming back for a 4-2 win. At least for their opponent today, a bit more capable as far as keeping them at bay with what we've seen so far, the capability to strike at any moment on the long ball. 1-1 to Hannah Harper. And for Valdosta State, that last homer very big as far as a 2-out strike opportunity, as there's a pitch high and away. We'll have time called as Thomas Macera saw something he didn't like, so he's going to come out at first base visiting dugout and come into the circle. Valdosta State and UWF have to have the mindset of that as far as if they want to get to the next step of postseason, they're probably going to have to win the conference tournament. Certainly for Valdosta State and even for UWF if things hold serve as far as the teams ahead of them in the NCAA Division II South region. Both teams outside of the top 8. There's the top 8 teams that does factor in the automatic qualifiers from the conferences in the region. Sunshine State, SIAC, and the Gulf South Conference. 2-1. That's sliced foul and out of play. So right now, teams like AUM at Mississippi College, and I put UWA in there, should feel really good, if not for UWA, pretty good as far as being able to punch their ticket as potential at-large bids. Excuse me, foul ball. No worries, so for Harper, as she'll stay alive in the count. Tori Wofford has had overall a very steady start so far. 3 innings, 3 hits, check that, 4 hits allowed, just a couple of runs. Has not given up the big hit so far today. 2-2. Bounced right back to Wofford. Easy play for her, 1 down. And if you're a Valdosta State pitcher, as far as this year, with the home run support you get from your offense, there's not a lot of pressure as far as having to carry a Game 7 World Series type of pressure on you. You just don't have to give up the big play as far as the extra base hit or the home run ball or even like the 2-out run scoring hits. There's nobody aboard as there's a grounder over right side for Prandine, as that takes care of Bella Holiday, 2 down. So this is a good situation for Wofford, as Valdosta State's already had a couple of clutch home runs today. 3-run lead almost halfway through as Jessie Bond, a sac fly RBI to center her last time up. All 4 of the hits have been singles so far today for the Argos. Good pitch in on the bat handle as that goes foul. Vasquez, Harper, Holiday, as well as Emma Bryce all have singles for UWF. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base as that drop ball taken. 1 ball and 1 strike. Valdosta State, 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and they've left just 1 on base. And the Blazers have maximized their run scoring potential so far today. Wofford comes home. That's foul, and she's 1 strike away from a perfect 1-2-3 inning. A couple strikeouts for Wofford today. Still no walks through almost 4 innings of work. A steady outing for her. Takes her time, looks at the wristband, now ready for the 1-2. Grounded, nice play by Prandine, and it makes the easy throw again on to first base. 1-2-3 goes UWF as we are halfway home here in Game 1 of 4 today at the Signature Softball Field in Oxford. Valdosta State 5 and UWF 2 here on Flow Sports.
Follow the latest Gulf South Conference news by following GSC on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
It's all about the fan experience. It's about in-game experience and the chance to do some different things. We had the opportunity to go to Mecco in Atlanta, and we had a chance to visit the showroom. And the ability to see the difference in the pixels next to each other in that venue. You can see the size comparisons. You could get to change a mod and see how that was done in-house. You got to see the system in action.
We were really pleased with the quality of the product. The price was, we probably saved 30% or so on the price of the project. You're talking 6-figure savings, which is significant in any type of venture. It worked out great for everybody.
Halfway home on a late Friday morning here in Oxford, Alabama. A happy Friday to all that are watching us here on Flow Sports as the first pitch drops down low for ball one to Jamie Prandy. Out of Bradenton, Florida, a Manatee High School alum, an all-second team member in conference play last year. She takes strike one call. Played in all 47 games for the Blazers last year. Scored 37 runs, had 40 hits with an almost 300 batting average as Dumas comes in and grabs that pop-up for out number one here in the bottom of the fourth inning. A couple of home run balls today for Valdosta State. Both have come up very big in this one. Katie Proctor able to catapult the Blazers out to an early 3-0 lead, and then McNearney's two-run homer extended their lead back to the present 3 runs in their last at-bat. Jasmine Stewart to strike out her first time up, gets ahead in the count here. Harper in the circle as that's a nasty pitch swung on and missed. Stewart, a very reliable center fielder for the Blazers. Out of McDonough, Georgia, a sophomore. She takes outside on a fastball. 49 games, 47 starts in center field last season, so essentially a 2-year starter in both of her seasons at Valdosta State. Hitters count for Stewart, and now that evens as that swung on and missed. Earlier this season, Stewart had a 2-home run game in non-conference play against St. Leo. Also the same game, 6 RBIs, as that's ripped up the middle for a base hit. So Valdosta State able to get a 1-out base runner aboard as we go to the bottom of the order in Brandy Seaberg. So for Stewart, her first hit as she had 2 hits against Lee University yesterday. So now a 2-game hitting streak as Seaberg, let's see what she does here with 1 out. Swings away, bounces it, could be 2 as the tag made for 1 and the throw just late, not in time. The tag makes it a 4 unassisted fielder's choice as Stewart retired. Umpires do not have the benefit of instant replay here. If it was a Division I game, probably that play at first would have gone to the replay monitor. No worries, though, right now for UWF. They do have 2 and now soon to be 3 outs as Morgan Hill hits a comebacker to close out the inning. Nothing doing for Valdosta State. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on bases. We're through 4. Remains Valdosta State 5 and UWF 2.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
Through 4 innings of play, Valdosta State has led wire to wire so far in this elimination game, as one of these 2 teams will have their season in NCAA region hopes continue. And the loser of this game will have their 2024 campaign come to the finish line. Flip the scorecard over, 8, 9, and 1 as Jessica Ford leads off for West Florida. First pitch swing and a foul ball as Ford had a sac fly RBI her last time up. Should be another warm afternoon here in Oxford. 82 degrees our present temperature. A somewhat hazy sky here at Choccolocco Park. 0-1 outside. We are expecting some late night, if not some overnight rain in east central Alabama. Hopefully, especially for the baseball side of things, that it's able to push off into the wee hours of the morning. I know at least my lawn over in Lincoln will appreciate some overnight rain as the count at 1-2 as Ford takes a strike call. I know we'll all appreciate as far as the rain pushing off to when everybody gets hopefully some ideal sleeping weather tonight. 1-2 is taken outside. So far it's been dry for the Gulf South Conference softball tournament. And somewhat of an early start to summer as far as our temperatures this week. Jessica Ford at the plate. 2-2. Bounced on one hop. Bogart across the diamond for out number one. Been a very clean UWF portion of the scorecard up here in the press box, except for the second inning, and even then, just a couple of sacrifice flies after the first three UWF batters reached in that two-run scoring inning. Otherwise, except for the second, UWF has only had one base runner reach. Number 9 batter in the order, second in the inning in Dumas, takes a strike call. With only seeing Tori Wofford for a couple of times this week, this has to be one of her at least best outings so far this season. Just a couple of runs allowed, has not allowed the big hit so far as she misses high. And one of the big reasons she's pitched so well, looking at the scorecard, she has not gotten, at least on my scorecard, to a 3-ball count so far today. And that certainly will get you deep into a ball game. Grounder left side and through. So UWF gets just their 5th hit so far today, a 1-out single from Dumas. As we go back to the top of the order, Gianna Guerrero. Guerrero a strikeout in the first, and then a line out to the shortstop McNearney. Guerrero out of Hainesport, New Jersey, a College of Central Florida transfer. As the Blazers have been able to keep the Argos at bay so far the last few innings. That's hit high, pretty well into right as Hill goes back, slows down, and makes the catch. Tagging and advancing into second base. Nice base running that time by Dumas as she's into scoring position. So Guerrero gave that a little bit of a ride to the track in right field. Valdosta State will take that out, however, as we go to the number 2 spot in the order. Emma Bryce, 1 for 2, a strikeout as well as a single. Bryce, a Tallahassee, Florida native out of North Florida Christian High School. Wofford comes home. Drop ball misses in the dirt. 27 games, 25 starts last year as a true freshman for Bryce. A regular contributor so far this year. Bryce, the daughter of Lori and Keith Bryce. As the 1-0 hit into right center, that should drop in. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Big 2-out hit for Bryce is coming home to score Dumas on her RBI double. That's the type of hit that UWF needed, a two-out RBI double. And able to go the opposite way that time and split Stewart and Hill as far as the center and right fielders for Valdosta State respectively. So now Aaron Moon a chance to tie this one up with one swing of the bat. Moon a fly out and a sacrifice. Fly out to center and a 5-3 sacrifice, so she's 0 for 1. Curveball outside. Aaron Moon out of Jacksonville, Florida. Junior catcher, right-handed thrower, left-handed batter for the Argos. Wofford comes home. That's off the end of the bat and foul. There's a big difference for Valdosta State, able to utilize their power 2 times today. Home runs, a 3-run homer for Katie Proctor and a 2-run homer for McNearney in the first and third, respectively. One of the best hitters in the UWF lineup at the plate. As that's right back through the middle, getting the green light. Bryce around third. Throw cut off as UWF within 1. Another 2-out RBI single as Moon comes through for the Argos. Bryce scores, and now Vasquez an opportunity to give the Argos their first lead with one swing of the bat. Vasquez, a part of the all-conference team at the end of the season for UWF. So she can make a big difference in this ball game as Wofford a couple of 2-out runs given up here in the top of the 5th. Rise ball upstairs. So both teams certainly have a lot of capability when it comes to changing the course of the game with a one swing of the bat. We've already seen that from Valdosta State today. Vasquez, a first-team All-GSC member this year, takes upstairs. So after the Bryce single in the third, Wofford had gotten the ensuing 6 Argos out. And now UWF a chance with an extra base hit to tie a home run to take their first lead today. That's hit off the end of the bat and foul. And I think with the way these two teams can score, I don't think both teams have gotten done as far as their run scoring in this one. Coming up in about an hour, 15 minutes at 12:30 local time, it will be UWA and UAH. Another elimination game between a couple of rock-solid teams in the GSC. 2-1. Hit into center, drops down in front of Stewart. Bobbles it around, but nothing doing there. As Moon plays it conservative, stays at second as Vasquez, the go-ahead run potentially at first, as Thomas Macera recognizing as far as the potential for UWF to take the lead. He wants to come out into the circle. So let's see if he decides to make a pitching change or if he just wants to go over a little bit of strategy in the scouting report. And it looks as if we're going to have a substitution and I believe a pitching change for Valdosta State. A pitching change coming up. We'll tell you who that is following this timeout on Flow Sports.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
New pitcher for the Valdosta State Blazers as Torrey Wofford gives way to right-hander, the junior Savannah Barfield. So 4 2/3 innings for Wofford as she gave up so far a total of 4 hits in this inning, 8 hits in the ball game. 4 runs all earned so far as the 2 runners the responsibility of Wofford that are on base. So 2 runners inherited for Barfield. As the 7th batter of the inning in Hannah Harper, an opportunity with a home run ball or even an extra base hit to put UWF on top. That almost gets to the backstop. Sieber has to basically scoop that out of the dirt. So also for Wofford, she was able to come up with a couple of strikeouts. No walks on the day. So a solid outing still for her as Barfield trying to keep her team in the lead but misses on the first 2 pitches. Bella Holiday on deck. Harper a single and a run scored in the 2nd and a comebacker to lead off the 4th. Pitch. That's downstairs as Barfield rusty coming out of the gates here in the 5th inning. Argos already with 2 on the board. As Harper, the Orlando native, ahead in the count. Likely the take sign for her. And takes high to load the bases. Danger time for Valdosta State, really for the first time today. As now a single can put UWF in the lead. Bella Holiday, 1 for 2, a bunt single in the 2nd and a ground out to 2nd, her last time up in the 4th. She'll take a strike call for Barfield. We'll take a look at her season totals here momentarily. Gets her first strike on the board as Holiday stands in. Tapped foul is now Valdosta State 1 strike away from maintaining their lead. A great ball game so far between 2 of the top hitting teams in Division II. Huge at bat for UWF and really for both teams. 0-2. Bouncer as that's fielded and the throw to first base in time as McNearney gets the 6-3 putout to retire the side. 8 batters come to the inning, 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and Valdosta State maintains the lead up 5-4.
Be sure to visit the Gulf South Conference local marketplace. For the Blazers, number 8, Abby Salt.
Bottom of the 5th inning as Valdosta State able to hold on to their lead as West Florida able to scratch across 2 runs with 2 outs in their half of the 5th inning as they sent 8 of their 9 batters in the order to the plate. 2, 3, and 4 for Valdosta State as Abby Salt takes a strike call. walk in the first, a single in the third, and a couple of runs scored. Erin Moon back into the game behind home plate as she was pinch run for, at least in the last half inning, as there's ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hannah Harper coming on for Montana Young today. There's the 1-1. That drops low. So hitters count. As you have the teeth of the Valdosta State order coming up. 2-1. Just inside that time. So 3 balls and a strike. Brianna Jennings came on, at least in the last half inning, as a pinch runner for UWF. Moon, as we mentioned, back into the game as that's hit foul and out of play to load the count full. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Valdosta State wants to try and answer as far as the 2-run fifth for the Argos. That's hit. Nice play over at third. Vasquez, a long throw in time. Able to go a couple of steps to her left and got a pretty good hop. We've seen some good hops for both teams' infielders today, as there's been just 1 error between these two teams. Been a well-played game today, as one of these two teams will have their 2024 season come to an end, and the other will continue into another essentially semifinal game today. Foul ball by Gano. Big impact against Union, or check that, yesterday in their elimination game against Lee University. UWA beat Union yesterday. Gano, a grand slam that was a big difference against the Flames for Valdosta State. She slices that one in the left, a long run, and goes over Ford's head. First hit of the day for Gano as she coasts into second with a 1-out double. Shows a little opposite field power that time. Let's take a look as far as the progress report so far today for Young. Harper. Hannah Harper today started at first base as we've got a pinch runner set to check in at second base. 23 pitches so far for Harper, at least as of the last pitch count. 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits with no walks, no strikeouts, and so far no runs allowed. Evie Pitts checks in as the pinch runner for Gano. More than likely Gano comes back in the next half inning. So Proctor, another chance to make a big impact. Got the first big hit at the ball game for Valdosta State. A 3-run homer to left. That was all the way back in the first inning. Valdosta State has led by 3 on a couple of occasions today. UWF has had to play from behind the entire game so far. Harper misses with the rise ball. So you know that Harper will be pitching at least very cautiously as far as to one of the top sluggers in the Blazers lineup. Pitch outside. McNearney and Proctor with long balls today. Pitch down and away, so not the worst sequence at time for Harper. It's a 4-pitch walk to Proctor, so 2 runners on base now. Sailor McNearney with a 2-run homer her last time up. And that has proven to be a huge homer in this ball game for the Blazers as well. This is at the scorecard brought out for head coach Thomas Macera for Valdosta State as we have a pinch runner set to check in. It is Snook coming in. Sierra Snook checking in over at first base for Katie Proctor.
Number 17, Sierra Snook.
So both runners on base are pinch runners for the Blazers of Valdosta State. Pitts at second, Snook over at first. Pitch high that time. So can't take McNearney for granted either. And she was able to launch a 2-out, 2-run homer her last time up. Pitch is taken at the knees, maybe a little below there at the very bottom of the strike zone. Good pitch that time from Harper. What do you have to do against a powerful hitting lineup? West Florida in contention, but they need to put another 0 on the board as that rise ball upstairs. McNearney, the Kennesaw, Georgia native. A chance to help her team extend their lead once more. That's off the end of the bat, but through the middle for a base hit. Pitts the green light around third. She'll score on a huge 2-out run scoring single from Sailor McNearney. That's her third RBI today. And on the GSC tournament week, 5 RBIs here in Oxford. So she's certainly in contention as far as a spot on that all-tournament team. As advancing to second base will be Sierra Snook. Carly Bogart, a ground out and a fly out today. Ground out to third to end the first, and then a fly out to center to end the third. UAH and UWA in the green room awaiting their at least first game of the day. For one of those teams will be their first of 2 today. And for one of these 2 teams, it's at least 1 out of 2. The loser has their season come to a close. And for the winner, they will take on the tournament's regular season champion and top seed in Mississippi College. We'll have time called. And looks like a coaching visit for Ashley McLean. A longtime member as a player, assistant, and now the head coach of the UWF softball program. Second seed and the top team in the region, according to the NCAA South region rankings in AUM. They'll take on the winner of UWA and UAH later on today for the final game of the day, sometime around 6 o'clock. And then there's a possibility for as many as 2, if necessary, games, depending on how the 3:30 and 6 o'clock games go tomorrow. We know Championship Saturday is tomorrow. We could have as few as 1, as many as 3 tomorrow. 2-0 the count, and make that 3 balls and no strikes to Bogart. Prandine on deck. Huge spot for Valdosta State as they're up 6-4. As a strike call on the 3-0. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Bogart has a chance to at least cement her impact today. Pops that up, out of play, and so the runners get a head start coming up on the 3-2. A good time as far as Bogart is concerned to get her first hit of the day. Just 1 out of 6 coming into tournament play. As far as to today's game. Bouncer, that goes foul. Another payoff pitch soon to come. Bogart, a Florida Tech transfer out of Inverness, Florida. Florida Tech, a former GSC football-only member. 3-2. That's hit into left field. That'll drop down as the go-ahead sign given to Pitts. Or check that, I should say, to Snook as she scores. And advancing on the throw will be McNearney as well as Bogart. So they're at second and third, and another 2-out RBI for Valdosta State. So Pitts and Snook, the pinch runners, contribute with runs scored off the bench today. McNearney to third, as we'll have runners at second and third, as Bogart with her first RBI of the day, and that's also her first RBI at the GSC tournament, as we'll have yet another pinch runner, it appears, come in for Valdosta. Or check that, I should say a pinch hitter, rather, as Lexi Patterson will come in as the pinch hitter. Third substitution for Thomas Macera this half inning is the Quitman, Georgia native Lexi Patterson at the plate. Comes in for Jamie Prandine. Pitch on the way, that's hit foul. So opportunity for Patterson to get a couple home and also maybe get a little bit more playing time if Valdosta State can hold on. Runners in scoring position as another chopper goes foul. So Lexi Patterson's numbers. 25 games played. This is her 31st at bat, 15 out of 30, so she's gotten some bang for her buck this year. 2 homers and 11 RBIs. Infield in. As that drops downstairs. Still just 1 out, so opportunity here for Valdosta State maybe to take as much as a 5-run advantage. Hannah Harper against the ropes right now as she comes up with a huge strikeout pitch. Just a little above the belt, as that's a big strikeout for the Argos. As that brings up Jasmine Stewart. So Prandine likely to check back in the next half inning. Also the same for Proctor and Gano. Stewart 1 for 2. Takes a rise ball high. So 2 runs in the inning. So it's 1 out RBI hits for McNearney and Bogart in the inning, as they're on base. Second and third for the Blazers as the infield retreats for the Argos. And that nearly hits Stewart as she gets ahead in the count. Close call that time, as Stewart will have a hitter's count coming up, and looks as if that UWF head coach Ashley McLean going to come out, and they're going to have a word as far as the 3 umpires are concerned. Robert Bird behind home plate, Tyler Daffron at first, and Alan Lunsford, our umpires here in game 1 of 4. Our 2 undefeated teams as far as the softball side of the GSC tournament still to come later this afternoon. Mississippi College and AUM have not lost so far in their first 2 games in Oxford, Alabama. Mississippi College faces the winner of this ball game as the 2-0 is grounded up the middle. Nice play that time by the shortstop in Bryce as she throws over to first base in time. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left in scoring position. We're through 5 innings of play as Valdosta State back up by 3, 7-4.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. TicketSmarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think TicketSmarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at TicketSmarter.com.
Real change occurs in that split second. A moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
And we're through 5 innings of play at the signature softball field at Choccolocca Park on this happy Friday, at least a happy Friday so far for Valdosta State as they have led wire to wire against UWF. James Hardy with you. As we thank you for joining us here on Flow Sports. Top of the 6th inning as 8 batters came up to the plate for the Argos in the 5th inning as the first pitch taken by Jesse Bond. Bond, a sac fly in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd, her last time up in the 4th. Sprays that one foul off to the right side. Savannah Barfield back in the circle as she was able to get out of trouble in the 5th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom 3rd of the Argos order here in the 6th. That's hit foul and out of play. Couple of big runs for Valdosta State to answer the 2 runs in the top of the 5th for UWF. 3rd day of the GSC softball tournament. First day over the signature baseball field for our GSC baseball teams as there's a high bouncer toward the third base coach's box. West Florida on top of Delta State in the very first GSC tournament baseball game of the weekend. Tomorrow is Championship Saturday for GSC softball. Start time depends on how the afternoon games go today. So stay tuned to gscsports.org as well as our GSC Sports socials as far as start times for tomorrow. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bond looking to get a rally going for the Argonauts. That misses outside. A vacation destination and also a military destination as far as where UWF is located in Pensacola. Obviously, Pensacola is the longtime home of the Blue Angels. Eglin Air Force Base nearby as the 3-2 is downstairs. And, of course, you got those lovely sugary white sand beaches of the Florida Gulf Coast right at the front doorstep. So leadoff walk, hit by pitch, you take your pick there. In any case, a base runner for the Argos. So good start for them here in the top of the 6th. Jessica Ford to the plate. Sac fly in the 2nd, ground out to 3rd to begin the 5th. That was officially a walk for Bond as a foul ball by Ford. So final totals today for Tori Wofford: 4 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned, no walks, and a couple of strikeouts. We'll take a look at Montana Young's numbers officially here also. As she got the start for UWF in the circle. There's a strike call, makes it no balls and 2 strikes. 2 2/3 for Montana Young today. 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. That bounces in there and gets away from Siebers, so a runner now in scoring position on the wild pitch. Jessica Ford a chance to drive another run home, as we'll have head coach Thomas Macera make another coaching visit. UWA and UAH in another losers bracket game up next, a losers bracket quarterfinal for those 2 teams. The second in-state matchup this week for UWA as far as the Gulf South Conference tournament, as they lost a heartbreaker on Wednesday 2-1 to number 2 seed AUM, but able to throttle Union University, the 6th seed yesterday. An 8-1 win that they were in full control from the onset. Valdosta State led wire-to-wire yesterday against Lee University, the 8th seed. So far, a wire-to-wire lead so far today. Pitch on the way. Hit high into left center field. Calling for it. Left fielder Salt makes the play. Runner has to stay put at second. So certainly the Blazers will take that out as we go to the number 9 batter and Chelsea Dumas. Dumas, a single and a run scored in the 5th, and then grounded out to short to end the 2nd inning. Just one error so far today for both teams. UWF had an error against Morgan Hill at 3rd as far as Valdosta State's opening batter in the 1st inning. Otherwise, both teams have played very well defensively. 1-0 to Dumas. That's taken on the drop ball. For UWF, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, as they've left 5 on base. 7 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and 4 left on base for Valdosta State. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Dumas swung over that drop ball. Chance for her to drive a run home. The Bonita Springs, Florida native out of Estero High School. Still a hitter's count. And that's taken low, just far enough away as advancing to 3rd will be Bond. Likely, I think, a wild pitch that time. As on deck is Gianna Guerrero. Infield comes in for Valdosta State. 3-1. Just on the inside corner with a screwball. Interesting decision for Valdosta State, still with the 3-run cushion at the bottom of the order to bring the infield in. We'll see if it pays off here for the Blazers, though. 3-2. Grounder through the left side as UWF scores on an RBI single. Dumas, 2 for 3. First RBI of the GSC tournament for her. That's a big hit for the Argonauts as we go back to the top of the order here in the top of the 6th inning. So Gianna Guerrero, 441 coming into today. Dumas, by the way, her 33rd RBI of the season. Infield comes in at the corners as there's a bunt foul. Guerrero, a tough offensive day. Struck out to begin the ball game in the 1st, lined out to short to begin the 3rd, and then flied out to right in the 5th. So still even coming closer to the finish line today. I don't think that we've yet gotten as far as the run scoring done for these two teams today. 2 of the top home run hitting teams in the GSC and in Division II nationally so far this year. That misses outside. Guerrero even in the count. Good ball game so far here on a Friday morning, soon to be Friday afternoon in about 15 minutes. A bunt and just goes foul. Break for Sieber. She almost touched that in fair territory. That bunt may have been about a half-inch foul that time on the third base side. So that's a break for Valdosta State. Could have been a couple of runners on base. One of these two teams will have their season come to an end. As the 1-2. Hit into center field, hit pretty well as Stewart back to the wall, makes the catch. Stewart able to have just enough poise that time not to panic, able to locate the wall and still make the catch. That almost was able to tie up the ball game. As there's 2 down. And the runner still over at first base in Chelsea Dumas as Emma Bryce, an RBI double her last time up, takes low on the drop ball. Bryce 2 for 3, struck out in the first, singled in the third, and then the double, an RBI, and a run scored in the 5th. Bryce, the Tallahassee native. This will have a little equipment timeout as far as our catcher Sieber behind home plate. Barfield trying to get this inning to a close. As the 1-0, screwball inside. Bryce, as far as her North Florida Christian career in Tallahassee, .368 career batter. Also had a couple of homers, .458 batting average and 2 triples as a senior. Played just 17 games in her final year of high school as that fastball high. One hop throw is not in time. Dumas able to swipe second. So still the potential tying run at home plate. So Dumas now, as far as her season stolen base total, up to 9 out of 9 attempts. 3-0 pitch, a strike call as Bryce tried to draw the ball 4 call, but was called back to home plate. On deck is Aaron Moon. Barfield ready, 3-1. Off the end of the bat as that's wide of the first base bag. Couple of 2-out RBIs in the 5th inning for UWF, as they also had a couple of sac flies in the 2nd. Already a run here in the 6th thanks to Dumas's RBI single. Runner goes on contact, so another single likely means a run. High chopper. Barfield gets a good hop, but a late throw that time as the inning continues. A swinging bunt for Emma Bryce as Dumas goes on contact, and now at third, as you have the possible go-ahead run now at the plate in Aaron Moon. Checked back in after Brianna Jennings pinch ran for her in the 5th inning. So Moon, a .354 batter this year. She has a chance to put her team in the lead for the first time today. Pitch is on the outside corner, strike call. Moon, an RBI single her last time up, fly out to center to end the 1st, and then the 5-3 sacrifice in the 3rd. An NFCA All-Region 2nd team selection last year. Pitch gets away to the backstop, and so that allows run number 2 of the inning and the 6th run of this ball game for the Argos to cross the plate as Dumas scores on the 2nd wild pitch of this inning. I should check that. That's the 3rd wild pitch. As coming home to score be Dumas, and now the tying run, Bryce, into scoring position. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off the end of the bat and foul. Moon, a Jacksonville, Florida native. Coming into the season, a 2-time All-GSE selection, second team in 2022 as a freshman, and then a first-team selection last year. Hit .390 as a sophomore last year. 1-2 is outside. And most importantly right now, wants to have a 1,000 batting average in this inning because that would mean likely the game gets tied. Moon with 8 homers on the year. Big 2-2 pitch. Barfield comes home. Fly ball should end the inning as Salt glides in and makes the catch to retire the side. However, 2 more runs on 2 hits with no errors and a runner left in scoring position. Bottom of the 6th, Valdosta State holds on to a 7-6 lead here on Flow Sports.
At the bottom of the 6th, your score is 7-6.
It's all about the fan experience. It's about in-game experience and the chance to do some different things. We had the opportunity to go to Mecco in Atlanta, and we had a chance to visit the showroom. And the ability to see the difference in the pixels next to each other in that venue. You can see the size comparisons. You could get to change a mod and see how that was done in-house. You got to see the system in action.
We were really pleased with the quality of the product. The price was, we probably saved 30% or so on the price of the project. You're talking 6-figure savings, which is significant in any type of venture. It worked out great for everybody.
A hazy Friday here at Chakalaka Park on day 3 of the GSC softball tournament. Day 1, and in fact still game 1, I believe, of the GSC baseball tournament over at the Signature Baseball Field. Just about a foul ball away from here. James Hardy along with our Flow Sports crew with you on a hazy Friday almost afternoon here, as we're still a few minutes away from making it an afternoon here in the Central Time Zone. 9-1-2 in the Valdosta State order for what could be, but wouldn't quite put money down yet as far as the final time that we see Valdosta State's offense at the plate. Sieber 1 for 2. Almost gets hit with that 1-0. Hannah Harper's done a solid job helping to keep UWF in contention today. Both teams on the outside looking in as far as the region rankings are concerned. Top 8 teams, when the field is unveiled for the NCAA tournament, go into the NCAA South region. South region rankings came out at the start of this softball tournament. 1-2 as far as the top 2 teams from the Gulf South Conference in the South region rankings, as 3-1 now the count. AUM, the top-ranked team this week. Mississippi College at number 2. UWA at number 5. That we'll see next. 3-1. That's a little bit high for ball 4. Right now you have UAH and UWF that are just on the outside looking in. So UWF needs to try and at least keep this a 1-run differential going into the 7th inning. Back to the top of the order in Morgan Hill as she bunts it. Back to Harper. Tosses over to Webb covering at first base. 1-3 sacrifice. So 1 down. Sieber into scoring position. A couple of huge home runs today for Valdosta State, has accounted for 5 of their 7 runs, as we'll have Salt come up to the plate, and it looks as if we've got the clipboard and the lineup card brought out for McLean, as we're going to have a defensive substitution, looks as if out in center field. So it'll be Olivia Ryan that checks in as the center fielder, as Guerrero checks out. So big opportunity now for Valdosta State to get some insurance going into the top of the 7th. As a nice scoop at home plate by Aaron Moon. As Salt so far a walk, a single, and a ground out to third. So 1 for 2, a pair of runs scored. Big batter for Harper. You don't want to face Gano or Proctor with runners on base. As there's a swing and a miss at the drop ball. 3 more games to go today here at the Signature Softball Field. AUM and Mississippi College will play tomorrow no matter what happens in their games later today. Swing and a miss. Makes it 1-2. Valdosta State, UWF, UAH, and UWA each have to win 2 games today if they want to get to championship Saturday. Would force one of those 4 teams, 2 of those 4 teams rather, could force an elimination game, as there's a hit by pitch. I think that looked as if hit off the top of her foot, but we'll find out, make sure here in just a few seconds. I think that actually will just say a foul ball. Must have gone off the very bottom of the bat that time and then gone off the foot, so it is a foul ball. So Salt another chance. Shakes off that last foul ball. 2-2. Another foul ball. Aniston Gano, Katie Proctor, and Sailor McNearney loom in the teeth of the Blazers order. Outfield playing back for West Florida. Check swing, and I think that she went around, and indeed, Alan Lunsford confirms our initial thought as Salt strikes out. Big strikeout for UWF, as an opportunity for Gano to drive home a run. Aniston Gano, 1 for 3 with a double. Evie Pitts came on to score a run in a pinch running roll. That floater, a 12-6 curveball for a strike. Gano a grand slam early against Lee University yesterday. Hit likely means run number 8 for Valdosta State today. There's a bouncer foul at the first base coach's box. UWF not out of it right now, as they're down just 1, and they have the momentum on their side and can keep the momentum if Harper can get this final out. UWF and Valdosta State on the NCAA tournament bubble coming into this week, as both teams need to win this game, as there's a swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Gano, as she strikes out on 3 pitches. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left in scoring position. UWF down to their final 3 outs, but they need a run to tie and 2 to take the lead as we go to the 7th on Flow Sports.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
What could be the final at-bat of the season for the West Florida Argonauts here in Oxford, Alabama, as UWF needs 1 to tie and 2 to keep this, to take the lead and keep their season alive. As we go to the top of the 7th inning, is Madeline Vasquez, the first-team All-GSC selection this season, at the plate, who's 2 for 3 today. Tori Wofford, the start for Valdosta State, went 4 2/3 innings today, so she is in line for a victory. Harper on deck, followed by Bella Holiday for UWF. There's a strike on the changeup. Madeline Vasquez, an outstanding season for her this year. 424 the batting average on the season with 15 homers and 54 RBIs. Off the end of the bat, that is a fair ball. Good short hop that time as Bogart able to throw across as Gano, an equally nice stretch to get that first out. Not the easiest of plays that time for Bogart, as she was able to cleanly field that short hop right along the third base line. And then that stretch might have been a difference maker as well to get the first out of the inning, a big one for Valdosta State. Hannah Harper, a single, a walk, and a ground out to the pitcher in between those 2 at-bats, as there's a foul ball that's punched in between the third base coach's box and the third base bag. Harper, a run scored in the 2nd inning. Harper, a pretty solid relief outing in the circle so far today. 359 coming into today with 8 homers. So she certainly has the capability to tie this one up with 1 swing at the bat. That's it the opposite way, slicing away and inside the line. A fair ball as Salt just gets it back in from the corner. And so now the tying run into scoring position. Game pressure now being applied on Valdosta State as they have led this entire ball game. As Harper into scoring position. Bella Holiday, the designated player, 1 for 3, a bunt single in the 2nd, ground out to 2nd in the 4th, and a ground out to short to end the 5th. Infield comes in at the corners for Valdosta State. As Barfield comes home, that's sliced down the line and foul. 3 feet foul that time. UWF at 36-15 on the season, as they're right outside the top 8 as far as the NCAA South Region rankings as of Wednesday. The full 8-team tournament field in the South Region unveils on Monday. Good stop behind home plate by Sieber. So the Blazers defense needs to step it up here and have some of their best fielding of the season if they want to get to the finish line successfully here in the 7th. Tying run in scoring position. 1-1 in there for a strike. Fastball just a little bit above the belt that time. Jesse Bond on deck. 2 runs will give UWF their first lead of the day. Valdosta State has led as much as 2 times today. That, fortunately for UWF, is a hit by pitch. I say fortunate because they got away from Sieber and had to make sure that that hit off of the body of, at least the lower body, of Bella Holiday, which it did. Actually, in that case, not the worst outcome for Valdosta State. Gives a couple of double play possibilities for the Blazers defense. So runners at first and second. So now the go-ahead run on base for the Argos. Vaughn grounds it through the wickets of Gano as getting the stop sign, and now the throw home is still not in time as up to second on the throw goes Bond. So Harper scores from second. She had stopped initially and then able to turn on the gear again to come home as UWF ties it up, as now they have the go-ahead run 60 feet away as head coach Thomas Macera for Valdosta State comes out, and we are likely to have a substitution. Likely to have a pitching change, and so that means that Tori Wofford will earn a no decision today unless she re-enters into the ball game as Barfield checks out. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is after this timeout on Flow Sports. Madison Lump checks into the ball game for Valdosta State as UWF has tied it up here in the 7th inning. James Hardy with you. A dramatic ball game coming down the stretch as Valdosta State had led wire to wire up until this half inning. Jesse Bond's grounder ruled a single through the right side as there's a foul ball back our way on the part of Jessica Ford. So not only a single, but an RBI. As Holiday advanced to third and Bond now at second base. So a single could likely give the Argonauts a 2-run advantage. Infield in all the way around for Valdosta State. Foul ball makes it no balls and 2 strikes. Jessica Ford, a sac fly in the second. Ground out to third to begin the 5th, and then a fly out to left in the 6th. All West Florida needs is a sac fly here, as Lump inherits a lot of trouble for Valdosta State. Curveball outside. So Valdosta State needs a lot of positive fortune here, as UWF a sac fly or a hit away from taking their first lead today. 1-2. Hit right side, and that will go foul. Sliced away from the right field line. So UWF, the possibility here, actually a pretty good possibility of being able to take a lead into the bottom of the 7th inning. Don't go away, certainly. Both teams able to get some explosive offense with one swing of the bat. 1-2 sprayed foul. Both teams, if they lose today, whether this game or the afternoon game against Mississippi College, would have their season come to an end. A huge game And a huge seventh inning for both teams. 1-2. Fisted in the air and a big out that time. As Sieber able to make the catch in foul territory. One of the biggest pitches of the season so far for Madison Lump as she was able to get Jessica Ford on an infield pop-up. So Chelsea Dumas, 2 hits in 3 at-bats, including an RBI single in the 6th. Takes high and away. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th for Valdosta State. Proctor, McNearney, and Bogart duo. So West Florida would like to take the lead here and would like to get a couple of runs to not only take the lead but get some insurance. 1-0. Ground in on 1 hop. As Prandine tosses over to Gano. Side retired, but UWF ties it. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th, all tied up at 7 apiece here on Flow Sports.
It's all about the fan experience. It's about in-game experience and the chance to do some different things. We had the opportunity to go to Mecco in Atlanta, and we had a chance to visit the showroom. And the ability to see the difference in the pixels next to each other in that venue. You can see the size comparisons. You could get to change a mod and see how that was done in-house. You got to see the system in action.
We were really pleased with the quality of the product. The price was, we probably saved 30% or so on the price of the project. You're talking 6-figure savings, which is significant in any type of venture. It worked out great for everybody.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning as possibly the final at-bat for Valdosta State today. As they got the heart of their order, the middle of their order, Proctor, McNearney, and Bogart. As Hannah Harper yeoman's work in the circle in relief today as she gets a strike call. Proctor, a 3-run homer in the 1st, popped up to the circle in the 3rd, and then walked her last time up. A strike call, no balls and 2 strikes. Well played game by these two teams. Arguably our best game so far in this GSC softball tournament. And we've had a lot of outstanding softball so far this week. That's hit hard into center field for a base hit. Proctor able to get those hands in and then slug that into center field. So now the walk-off run on base. And so this is a pretty big substitution if Thomas Macera decides to put a little more speed on first base. So indeed, they're going to put a pinch runner. Interesting call here as you take away potentially, if you go to extra innings, a power hitter in the Valdosta State lineup. But I don't think the worst, at least strategy call here for Thomas Macera. So Michaela Irvis checks in at first base as the pinch runner. So that means that Katie Proctor's day is done as the pitch to McNearney for ball 1. 3 RBIs today, a 2-run homer in the 3rd, popped up to 2nd in the 1st, and then an RBI single in the 5th as she bunts and foul. So Irvis aboard at first base. As that means that Michaela Irvis will stay in the ball game as far as the DP if this game continues into extra innings. 2 balls and 1 strike now. As McNearney has the chance and the capability to end this game with one swing at the bat. There's a bunt foul. We've already seen 2 games this week end on walk-off homers, both on the first day of this conference tournament. AUM was able to break the heart of UWA in the second game of this tournament on Wednesday, and the very following game, UAH did the very same thing against Valdosta State. UWA on deck against UAH as that's fouled off. So far today for Valdosta State, 7 runs on 8 hits. Check that, 9 hits, including that leadoff single. No errors. They've left 5 runners on base. 2-2. Off into the bat, that goes foul. UWF, 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. They've left 8 on base. Good battle between a couple of lefties, McNearney as well as the southpaw pitching Harper. Good eye on the drop ball that time. Has a huge pitch in this inning on the way. Could really set Valdosta State in position to walk this one off if McNearney can get on base. Payoff way outside for ball 4. No chance to hit the strike zone that time. And so Irvis, the pinch runner, into scoring position. Katie Proctor, by the way, checking out as far as her day, 2 for 3, including 3 RBIs and a run scored. As now that brings up Carly Bogart. 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 5th inning. See if she swings away. No, decides to bunt and takes low and away. UWA and UAH in the green room as they'll take the field. First pitch in about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game. 1-0, bunt shown, and that gets down. And the only play to first base as Dumas covers the bag at first for the 1-4 sacrifice. 1 down as now the walk-off run, essentially the only runner that matters right now. And Michaela Irvis is over at third. Now this is where potentially that pinch running substitution could come into play in a favorable light for Coach Thomas Macera. So the spot for Jamie Prandine at the plate. She just needs a sac fly to end this game. Inside corner that time for a strike. Well played game by these two teams, as this is coming right down to the final batter. UWF trying to send this game into extra innings. 0-1. Suicide squeeze as the bunt taken, as the throw back, fortunately a little off the mark for Valdosta State, as they're able to at least keep their runners at second and third. So that bunt was offered at a strike called. 0-2 coming up. Infield in, trying to cut off the runner from third. Drop ball low and away. Also the outfield coming in on a potential shallow fly ball. Prandine, her biggest at bat of the season. 1-2. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Goes fishing low and away on that drop ball. And so now the infield and outfield can retreat to standard position as Jasmine Stewart a chance to walk it off for Valdosta State. Stewart 1 for 3, a strikeout in the second, single in the fourth, and a ground out to short to end the fifth. Harper comes home. Swing and a miss. UWF would receive a lot of momentum, further momentum, if they can get this strikeout and go into extra innings. There's a tapper foul as UWF 1 strike away from going to the 8th. Argos have scored 3 unanswered runs after they were down 7-4 to going into the 6th inning. 0-2. Off the end of the bat and foul. The drop ball's been working so far this inning for Hannah Harper. Let's see if she decides to go with that here. Have to be on top of your toes if you're Moon behind home plate as the 0-2 downstairs. Defensively for UWF, they cannot allow anything to get to the backstop. Irvis, the possible walk-off run over at third. There's the foul tip. Some inside screwball action as the 1-2 will be again coming our way. Valdosta State has led us by as much as 3 on 2 different occasions today. Give a lot of credit to UWF as they've been able to come back from 3-0 and 7-4 to tie it up. 1-2. Swing and a miss as the UWF dugout comes out in total excitement. Huge strikeout for Harper to end the inning. No runs for Valdosta State as we go to extra innings, all tied up at 7 here on Flow Sports.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Free softball here at the signature softball field at Chakalaka Park. UWA and UAH will have to wait a little bit longer as UWF and Valdosta State not done so far. And our first game of 4 for day 3 of the GSC softball tournament. The Argos with momentum in their dugout as we're at the bottom of the order as Dumas fouls off the first pitch on a bunt attempt. Chelsea Dumas had an RBI single her last time up in the 6th inning. A couple of singles, in fact, in 3 at-bats. UAH playing for their NCAA tournament lives next up against UWA as there's a foul ball. UWA in good position as far as being able to secure their spot in the NCAA South region. UWA, despite being the number 7 seed this week, in the top 5 in the NCAA region rankings in the South region this week. A great season for the Tigers down in Livingston. Fly ball. Routine catch over in left field that time for Salt. 1 down. They've had an outstanding season. We'll get another look at Marissa Mitchell, one of the top transfers into the Gulf South Conference this season. She and also Aniston Gano have had sparkling seasons as far as 2 of the top sluggers, not only in the GSC, but in the entire Division II scene. Gianna Guerrero lines that through the middle for a base hit. So the possible go-ahead run now on bases. Guerrero, her first hit in 5 at-bats today. As that brings up Emma Bryce. Strikeout in the first, single in the third, RBI double and a run scored in the 5th, and then the single in the 6th. Argos have been able to score in their last 3 at-bats. As Lump misses low. The Blazers have utilized 3 pitchers so far today. In fact, we'll take a look as far as Barfield's totals for Valdosta State today coming out of the bullpen. There's a dribbler down the first base line and nothing that the Blazers could do about it. And look how fired up Emma Bryce is as she's on base. As now the go-ahead run into scoring position. Savannah Barfield today, 1 2/3 innings, 4 hits allowed, 3 runs surrendered, 2 of those earned, 2 walks and no strikeouts. So back-to-back singles now for UWF as that brings up Aaron Moon. RBI single back in the 5th. Takes low and away. So far, 1 for 3 with a sacrifice for Moon. Hit could mean the go-ahead run and UWF's first lead of the day. Grounder as the short route from short to third. Smart play that time by McNearney to get the go-ahead runner out. So 6-5 fielder's choice as Moon aboard at first, Bryce to second, and then Guerrero retired on the play. Going to require a 2-out hit from Madeline Vasquez, who's 2 for 4 today. Singles in the 2nd and 4th, also a fly out to left to end the 3rd, and a ground out to 3rd to begin the 7th. Here's the pitch low and away. Tight ball game and our first extra inning game of the tournament this week. We've had quite a few 1-run games and a 2-run game so far this week. That's hit foul and out of play. Actually, a couple of 2-run games so far this week. UWF got the tournament started with a 4-2 win on Wednesday over Union University in a 3-6 matchup. 3 1-run games as far as opening day on Wednesday. 1-1 upstairs. Mississippi College was able to outlast UAH last night 3-2. Also, AUM able to defeat UWF 6-4. So these 2 teams, Valdosta State and UWF, playing for their tournament lives. Hitters count off the end of the bat as that goes out of play. Kind of like when you're playing high school basketball, if you're on the boys varsity team for UAH and UWA, you're in the pre-game tunnel waiting for the girls' game to get over with. So the Tigers and the Chargers eagerly awaiting for this game to get to the finish line. 2-2 upstairs. Runners will get a head start from first and second with 2 outs. So a single, about 98% chance we'll get a run home. Big pitch for Madison Lump set to come. 3-2. Bouncer right side. The flip over by Prandine to Gano retires the side. No runs. 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning as Valdosta State needs 1 for the win as we're all tied up at 7 apiece.
It's all about the fan experience. It's about in-game experience and the chance to do some different things. We had the opportunity to go to Mecco in Atlanta, and we had a chance to visit the showroom. And the ability to see the difference in the pixels next to each other in that venue. You can see the size comparisons. You could get to change a mod and see how that was done in-house. You got to see the system in action.
We were really pleased with the quality of the product. The price was, we probably saved 30% or so on the price of the project. You're talking six-figure savings, which is significant in any type of venture. It worked out great for everybody.
Going to the bottom of the eighth inning as UWF held off the board in their half of the eighth inning. Valdosta State needs just one run to continue their season, as the loser of this game has both their tournament run and 2024 season come to a close. Both teams on the outside looking in on the wrong side of the NCAA Division II tournament bubble this season. As for Valdosta State, 9-1-2 due up, as Thomas Macera has been very busy with that lineup card today. As we saw a pinch runner, Michaela Irvis, come in for Katie Proctor in the bottom of the seventh inning, as it appears a pinch hitter checking in for the Blazers. So a second look for Robert Bird to make sure that everything is squared away as far as the substitution. Looked as if it might have been a substitution, but at least our home plate umpire, Robert Bird, not taking any chances, making sure everything is good to go as Brandy Sieber leads off. Bounces one and gets through the right side for a base hit. Positive start for the Blazers here in the bottom of the eighth inning, as they had the walk-off run aboard at first base. Back to the top of the order in Morgan Hill. Hill has reached base in the first inning on an E5, scored in the first, also has lined out to the pitcher, grounded out to the pitcher, and also sacrificed to the pitcher. She takes high. I imagine one of the most predictable calls you could have that I imagine everybody in this Signature Field complex knows is going to happen, the sacrifice situation. As that's laid down, a good one, as Moon tosses away down the first base line. Now the walk-off run is at third with nobody out. That is a sacrifice and then an E2 on the throw. So that means that the runners are at the corners, but the most important runner is over at third. And you have Abby Salt to the plate. Struck out in the sixth, led off the fifth with a ground out to third, and then walked in the first, singled in the third to lead off the third, and scored her first two times up. All she needs is a fly ball to any distance in the outfield. There's a breaking ball low. Aniston Gano is on deck. So this is a huge sequence for UWF defensively, as they are in desperation mode as far as this season is concerned. That's ripped into left as that gets down as Valdosta State keeps their season alive. RBI single for Salt as the Blazers walk it off and defeat UWF by a score of 8-7 in 8 innings. One run on 2 hits in the inning for the Blazers as Valdosta State improves their record to 31-22 on the season, as UWF likely has their season come to a close at 36-16 on the year. Madison Lump with the victory, and a tough loss for Hannah Harper out of the bullpen today. So Valdosta State will take on Mississippi College later this afternoon, sometime around 3:30 officially or so Central Time. So we appreciate you for joining us here on Flow Sports. Coming up here, our next game in about 30 to 35 minutes will be UAH, the number 4 seed against 7 seed UWA in another elimination game. So for all of our Flow Sports crew, James Hardy with you, as we appreciate you for joining us here on Flow Sports.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.